Today we're at Nick and Hannah's. Last time we saw them, we were talking about the budget, right?
Yeah.
We give them some time to think about it, but now we need to talk about what happens between a very rough budget and actually starting construction.
Yeah, so this is the pre-construction process. We really want to make sure that we're not going to start this project until they're ready to finish it. So they need to make a lot of decisions, and we need to lay out the groundwork for that.
We need to identify what they can do on their own, what they need help from us on, and what we need help from them on.
Hey guys, come on in.
Oh, thank you.
Good to see you.
All right, guys. So now that you've had some time to think about the budget, there's this sort of space between your initial budget and start of construction, and that sort of general phase we refer to as pre-construction.
Yep. This is the pre-construction phase.
So what we need to start is we need all your selections made, and we need a permit in place. So the most annoying process for Camille and I really when pulling permits is sort of that back and forth between the building department's requirements versus what we're providing, and typically we work around that by having an architect involved.
So we're certainly open to working with an architect if we need to, but do we need to, or are there other options? How would you advise us on that?
In this situation, as the owner of a single-family home in this state, you can draw your own plans and you can submit them for the permit. As a contractor, we can certainly handle the permitting process for you, but we are not an architect or an engineer, so we cannot seal those plans. So they have to either come from you guys or they have to come from an architect.
So basically the things we need to think about when it comes to permitting is you don't really need a permit for everything you do in your house.
Right.
But doing that bathroom in the basement may require all new plumbing, electric, so that's a permitted item. You're modifying a window. They want to know, is that new header strong enough to support it, so you want a permit for that. We find that everyone we work with usually has more wants than the budget allows. So we try to set this up in a transparent way so that you're compensating for us for our time, because that's how we make money, but also you can take on parts of the project yourself and save money, and that's sort of what we would call a cost plus contract, right? So you're basically going to compensate us for our time, compensate us for the materials we buy, and those materials and people we pay, like an electrician, for example, we're gonna mark up, and that's gonna cover our overhead, like our vehicles and our insurance and all that. But the nice thing about that is you're only paying for what you use. So because you're pretty handy and you guys are hands-on, that's typically an agreement that I think makes sense.
Right.
But
or your unique situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cost plus contract keeps the risk kind of evenly distributed, whereas a fixed cost contract, the project takes longer than they initially think. They can't charge you more for it, right? They can only charge what they said they're going to charge. So it may be a little bit higher than if it was an hourly contract.
Yeah, I think the cost plus is the way to go for us. We don't have such a large project that there's this huge margin of error that we need to manage. It's relatively small, and like you said, we might want to get our hands dirty with a few things to save a few dollars
He
here
at
and
least
there.
does.
Yeah.
I'm willing to try.
Sounds great. Well, I think
Thank
we
you.
have some things to do to figure out what's needed for the permits. And
yeah. So why don't you get working, drafting up those plans,
We
and
architect.
we'll circle back in a few weeks.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
So I think that went really well today. They seem really, ready to hit the ground running with the cost plus contract. They want to take on scopes of work. I think it's going to work out well.
Makes sense to me. I'll figure out what our trade partner costs are, what our material costs are, how much labor we have in the project. It's pretty easy. And if they went with a fixed cost, probably less risk to them, but they're definitely going to spend more money because we need to cover our risks. So it kind of makes sense that a cost plus feels right in this instance, but I'm excited to get started.
Yeah.
So we're choosing not to pick an architect because our costs could end up being quite tight on this project. And we're also learning that hiring an architect might mean actually taking extra time for an architect to do things and then get back to us, whereas we might be able to do enough of a simple drawing on our own and then get it right out the door pretty soon.
I think you might actually enjoy that, since once upon a time you wanted to be an architect.
I think I'd have a lot of fun drawing some plans.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.